Good morning, guys. Or should I say, buenos dias, muchachos. Was that Spanish? So anyways, we've been talking a lot about Spanish pronunciation, starting with the vowels, and we added some easy consonants in there and then some hard ones. Well, the T and the D were the ones we talked about in the last video, and it's very tedious when I hear people pronounce the T and the D in that way. So pay attention to it. I've got some exercises for you for the T and the D. And did you know there is no T and D in Spanish? It's te and de. So what we're gonna do is, first of all, with every letter that's hard, like I said, you wanna go through the vowels and go ta, te, ti, to, tu. But it might be good to precede and proceed, meaning like put the T before and after the A. Ta, ta, te, te, ti, ti, to, tu, tu. Ta, ta, te, te, ti, ti, to, tu, tu. And then try it with the D. Da, de, or da, da, de, de, di, di, do, do, du, du. And listen to yourself. A great thing to do is record yourself if you're brave, and listen to yourself and ask yourself a question. Do I sound like a native speaker right now? And the answer is no. Slow it down and pay attention. Forget about what you think it's spelled like, because that's probably what's messing you up. Focus on how it sounds, right? Okay, so what I want to do now is use some basic words and phrases that you probably already know using those letters. So the first one's gonna be dia. You know, like when people say buenos dias, dia means day, dia. So instead of dia, that's what people mostly say, right? Dia, buenos dias. It's dia, dia. Okay, so now here's one, el dia. The problem with moving your tongue back and forth like that, it's different. We're not used to moving our tongue that way. So if you say the word el, which means the, el dia, then you have to immediately shove it up hard against the roof of your mouth, behind your teeth, or up against your teeth, and then it comes out right. El dia. Compare that to the average American sound. El dia. Now another word that can go with that is todo. That means all. Todo el día. That's like all day. Todo el día. It's fast. So you'd want to practice, first of all, saying the word todo. Todo. You could also say toda. Todo el día. Toda la noche. La noche is near the night. Toda la noche, all night long. Todo el día. You know what I find, it's hard to switch back and forth from a Spanish accent to an American accent, because you're constantly switching your mouth position, all your speech organ, the muscles, everything, the positions change, and it's hard to switch back and forth. So that's why sometimes it'll come out and you'll hear me correct it because I heard it. And I'm like, whoa, it's not todo, it's todo. Todo el día. Toda la noche. Listen to that at normal speed. Toda la noche. Todo día. So that's a trick that'll make you sound more Hispanic, is when you get used to saying it slow, once you speed it up, the D sound actually starts to go away. Todo el día. Todo día. That's a hard one. That's a little bit more advanced. You can focus on that later, but just keep that in your subconscious. When you're listening to somebody speak Spanish and you don't really hear every sound they're making, it's because some sounds are omitted in Spanish, and that's just the natural way of speaking. But let's go to the word buenos. So we're now moving on to the next letter in the alphabet, the B. It's a very subtle difference between the American B and the Spanish B. But if you notice my lips, B and B. You tighten your lips when you pronounce the B in Spanish. So once again, you want to go ba, be, bi, bo, bu, ba, ba, be, be, bi, bi, bo, bo, bu. When people say buenos dias, there is a vowel combination in there with the u and the e, but in Spanish it sounds like we, buenos, nos, buenos dias, very nasally, buenos dias. So now what I want you to do is maybe record yourself saying the following phrase. Hola, buenos días, ¿Cómo está usted? If you can do that with the perfect Spanish accent, which I believe you can if you've been paying attention to these videos, then you're ready to move on. If not, I'd recommend you going back to the first video and reworking and listening to the concepts I've been talking to you about and reworking these exercises. And it's not going to happen overnight, guys. I was fluent in Spanish for months before I could correctly even roll my R's, which I'm going to do a whole video about R, just the letter R, in a little while. But it's embarrassing, you know, when you go to try to speak to a native speaker and you know the words, but you can't make them come out right. So that's why it's important to take the time and slow down and focus on the individual sounds that you're making, and it'll pay off. You know, people ask me all the time what country I'm from when I'm speaking Spanish, because they're looking at this white boy and they're like, how come, you know, you sound like me? And it's so rewarding when that happens. And it's not really like a pride. I mean, it makes me proud, but it's not like a cocky proud. It's a rewarding feeling knowing that the hard work that I put in and the amount of attention that I paid to this has paid off, you know? So anyways, chew on all them little nuggets. Oh, and one final tip for you to improve your Spanish pronunciation. Lots and lots of hot sauce. It burns your tongue, makes it start rolling really good. Don't do that. Bye.